So, good morning. Today we're going to be talking about Nehemiah 7 and Matthew 5, chapter 5, and Hebrews 5, 9, and 10. So, basically, in Nehemiah 7, it talks about how God is a God of order, basically, because he Nehemiah went through to register the families that were came that went back after they returned to Jerusalem after being in captivity in Babylon with Nebuchadnezzar. I don't know how to pronounce it. Sorry, but in Babylon where they were there, so they returned to Jerusalem, and Nehemiah was in charge, or he did register the people that returned, so that it can be in order, so that they would know who to be assigned and what tribe should be assigned to its assignments. So basically, in verse 39 it says, "These are the priests, the descendants of Jediah, through the family of Yeshua." Imagine that, Yeshua. Yeshua means, I believe it's Jesus, it's the same name. So the priest, like Jesus is the Messiah, he's the priest. He's also in Hebrews 5:9. It says that, let me see, in Hebrews 9 it says, "And because his obedience," this is talking about Jesus, "and because his obedience was perfect, he was able he was able he was able to give eternal salvation to all who obey him. And in this way, God made Jesus a high priest, a priest, a priest like Melchizedek." So Jesus' descendant, Yeshua, in Nehemiah, in Hebrews, they were descendants of Jesus, and they were like priests. So descendants from Jesus are priests. They they talk about God, they represent God, and they're in their family of Jesus. So God is a God of order. He knew already who were gonna be priests in Nehemiah before Yeshua came, because from that descendant, from that tribe, became Jesus. That's what it shows here by his name, Yeshua. That's what I can captivate. That's what I got from this. And then on verse 43 it says, "These are the Levites, the descendants of Yeshua, through Kadmiel, through the family of Hodaviah." So also the Levites were descending of Yeshua, and as well, but they were assigned. Um, can't remember exactly when they were assigned, but it says that they were ascendant of the Levites. So Jesus was part of the Levi family. And then verse 44 says, "These are the singers, the descendants of Asaph." So you can see the legacy, the family order, the assignment that each family has that obeys God. We all are assigned different things so we can accomplish God's purpose on this earth. We can be in different kinds of positions, government, you can be in school teaching, priest, you can be housewife, you can be any position. You have an assignment, and you're part of God's kingdom if you honor him and do what's right. And as long as you keep going after God's heart, you will remain there, because his purpose for everyone that is doing an assignment that works is perfect and good. Then we go to verse 45 from verse chapter 7. It says, "These are the gatekeepers, the descendants of Jashum, Ater, Tamon, um, Aku, Hatita, and Shobai, sorry." And verse 46, these are the temple servants, descendants of Hesufa, and Taboa. These names are confusing and kind of hard to read, but as you can see that many different assignments were to the people that were part of God's kingdom. So God allowed Nehemiah to assign these duties to these people because of the tribe they came from, what they were used to doing, what their legacy was from before they went to captivity in Babylon. So also in Matthew 5, the only thing that can connect to this that I got was that verse 9 says, "They are blessed who work for peace, for they will be called God's children." So in Nehemiah 7 64, it says, "These people searched for their family records, but they could not find them. So they could not be priests because they were though to be unclean. The governor ordered them not to eat from the holy food until the priest settled this matter by using the Urim and Thummim." So you can see that some people will try to be priests, to be pastors, to be God's chosen, to be doing good for God, but they're not, uh, because they look for records, they look for proof, but these Nehemiah and uh, the family couldn't see. The family couldn't see. God's people couldn't see the records in the records that these people belong to God's family. So the priest had to go to God. It says on verse 65, until this matter, until a priest settled this matter by using your mind and to my mind. Um, in Exodus 28:30, it talks about determine God's will. So the priests had to determine God's will for these people that were looking for records, who were not really chosen by God, who really had no assignment in their hearts from God to follow. So these people were trying to make earthly records, create earthly records to show that they're somehow were part of God's priesthood or chosen people. So these priests that were looking to to see what God's will was, they were working in peace, and because they were God's children, like it says in Matthew 5, it says, "They are blessed who work for peace, for they will be called God's children." These other priests that they were looking for records, they're probably going like crazy. "Oh yeah, yes, yes, I am part of the priesthood," but they really were not. So that's it for today. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day. Bye bye.